Some facts sound so strange that your brain rejects them before the explanation even starts. In this video, every fact is real, every story has a twist, and the first one begins with a town by any name. So listen closely, because the weirdest details are usually the ones that turn out to be true. In the rugged province of Newfoundland, Canada lies a settlement that has left many visitors and locals alike scratching their heads. The town of Dildo, situated on the eastern coast of this Atlantic island, is a name that's become a global phenomenon, and not just because of its unique appellation. What's perhaps most astonishing about Dildo is that it's not some obscure or ancient village with a strange moniker that's been lost in time. On the contrary, it's a thriving community with a rich history and a population that's grown from humble beginnings to a bustling hub of activity. Founded in the 17th century as a tiny fishing settlement, Dildo has evolved over the centuries into a charming town with its own distinct character, complete with a municipal government, schools, shops, and even a local tourism industry that proudly celebrates its infamous name. For me, the sheer incongruity between Dildo's quaint, small-town charm and its outlandish moniker is what makes it such an enduring source of fascination, a quirky curiosity that has captured the imagination of people from around the world. The world of cinema often employs subtle tricks to create a lasting impression on audiences. But one unsettling technique stands out in Anthony Hopkins' iconic portrayal of Dr. Hannibal Lecter in The Silence of the Lambs. A pivotal scene where he's interrogated by Clarice Starling reveals that Hannibal never blinks, an unblinking stare that leaves viewers feeling uncomfortable and uneasy. This wasn't a product of Hopkins' acting abilities alone, but rather a deliberate choice to maintain eye contact with the camera for an extended period, adding to the character's unnerving presence on screen. The effect is both captivating and unsettling, making it impossible to look away from Hannibal's intense gaze. What makes this even more fascinating is that Hopkins achieved this without any digital enhancements or special effects, showcasing the incredible depth of his performance and the true horror of being under Hannibal's unflinching scrutiny. Anne Boleyn, Queen Elizabeth's mother, had 6 fingers on one hand, a fact that's both astonishing and historically significant. The extra digit was not just a minor anomaly, but rather a symptom of a rare genetic condition known as polydactyly. This congenital disorder affects only about 1 in every 500 births, making Anne Boleyn's case extremely unusual. What makes this even more remarkable is that she was married to King Henry Roman VIII, one of the most powerful men in Europe at the time. The fact that he chose to overlook her physical anomaly and instead fell deeply in love with her says a lot about his character. However, it's also worth noting that Anne Boleyn's condition may have been more than just a cosmetic issue. Some historians believe that she may have had difficulty with manual dexterity due to the extra finger. Regardless of its implications, Anne Boleyn's 6-fingered hand has become an enduring and fascinating aspect of her legend, serving as a testament to both her uniqueness and her influence on history. The human body has an odd quirk that may leave you wondering why our skeletal system is so unevenly distributed. Approximately 25% of a person's bones can be found in their feet, a staggering number considering how often we rely on them to carry us through life. What's even more surprising, however, is that despite this high concentration of bones, the density of our foot skeletons ranks relatively low compared to other parts of the body like our hands or skull. This paradox raises questions about why our bodies prioritize mobility over stability, allowing us to move with ease but potentially sacrificing some structural integrity in the process. For example, if you were to step on a rock and twist your ankle, the fact that only 25% of our bones are concentrated in our feet would seem to suggest that we shouldn't be able to withstand such an injury. And yet, we can. This unusual compromise between mobility and stability is just one of the many quirks that make our bodies so fascinatingly complex. The Hawaiian alphabet may seem like a relic from a bygone era, but its unique characteristics set it apart from other languages. With a mere 12 letters at its disposal, this ancient tongue defies conventional wisdom about the complexity of language. At first glance, one might assume that the Hawaiian alphabet is somehow incomplete or inferior to more traditional alphabets, but the truth lies in its design. The simplicity of the Hawaiian alphabet was actually a deliberate choice, made with the needs of its native speakers in mind. With fewer letters to learn and remember, the language became more accessible and easier to master for the population that used it. This intentional paring down of linguistic complexity has resulted in a system that is both beautiful and efficient, one that has allowed Hawaiian to thrive as a vital part of the island's rich cultural heritage. The seemingly ordinary sounds of a farmyard may hold more secrets than we initially think. Take, for instance, the loud crowing of a rooster, a sound that's deeply ingrained in our culture as a symbol of rural life and vitality. However, beneath this iconic image lies a surprising fact. If a rooster can't fully extend its neck, it can't crow. This peculiar relationship between physical posture and vocal ability is rooted in the anatomy of the rooster's throat. When a rooster stretches its neck to its full extent, the laryngeal prominence, a flap of cartilage responsible for producing sound, is able to function freely, resulting in that unmistakable crowing noise. But when the neck fails to reach this position, the vocal cords become muffled and ineffective, rendering the bird mute. This fascinating connection between physical movement and auditory output is not only astonishing but also highlights the intricate complexities of animal physiology. It's a common phenomenon we've all experienced at one point or another, scrubbing our floors, dusting our furniture, and vacuuming our carpets in an effort to keep our homes spotless. But have you ever stopped to think about what exactly makes up that fine layer of grime? The truth is, most dust particles in your house are made from dead skin cells. Yes, you read that right, human skin. It's a staggering fact that has left many scratching their heads. After all, when we shower and bathe regularly, it's natural to assume that the vast majority of our dead skin cells are washed away with soap and water. But the reality is that millions of these tiny skin particles are released into the air every hour, where they eventually land on surfaces around us, accumulating over time. It's a constant, albeit microscopic, presence in our daily lives, one that we can't see or feel but is still there, silently collecting dust. The human body is full of complexities and quirks that often leave us scratching our heads. But have you ever stopped to think about just how many everyday terms we use to describe its various parts? It's not until you start digging into the anatomy of language that you come across something truly astonishing. There are 10 human body parts that can be described using a mere 3 letters: eye, hip, arm, leg, ear, toe, jaw, rib, lip, and gum. What makes this so surprising is that we often assume certain words to be more complex or nuanced, but in reality, our language is developed in such a way that even the most basic terms can have deep roots in human anatomy. This phenomenon highlights the intricate relationship between language and the physical world around us. The fact that our everyday vocabulary includes such concise and straightforward descriptions of bodily parts raises questions about how we perceive and understand our own bodies.